I'm going to ask you, Sam, a few questions, if you don't mind, about the relation between Tuscan and Italian as a language, which will clarify a lot of doubts that the audience may have. Okay, so the first question that everybody asks me in class is, Fede, is the Tuscan a dialect or a language? You are the right person to answer, Sam.
It's basically none of the two.
Really?
Yeah, and let me clarify something very important. It doesn't exist a Tuscan language, not at all, because in Tuscany, we'll talk more about this later maybe, there are 10 different cities, and every city speaks in a different way, at least inhabitants from every city speak differently. So I could tell you how to speak in Livorno, how to speak in Pisa, in Florence, but there isn't a universal, let's say, Tuscan language that everybody speaks. So we have several, they call them Vernacoli. It's like a way of, pronouncing words. It's not really a different language or a different life. I know it sounds a bit complicated, but it is.
Okay, so connected to this point, I would like to ask you, is it true that Tuscan, or that the Italian language, comes from Fiorentino?
It is somehow true, because you must think about the Middle Ages, no? 1300s. We had in Florence amazing writers like Dante Alighieri, and in the region other great poets like Petrarca, amazing novel writers like Boccaccio. That somehow formed what later became the Italian language, because before then people spoke Latin. And Manzoni, in the mid-1800s, a very important, famous Italian writer, chose for his most important book, The Promessi Sposi, the Florentine language. Basically, the Florentine language was chosen as the model for the perfect Italian language.
Okay, Sam, so can you give us some typical expressions that you hear in Tuscany, that when you hear them you think, that person is Tuscan?
Okay, later I think we'll talk more about the differences now between different ways of speaking in different Tuscan cities. But let's say there's something that is very typical of people from a region, is that most of us don't pronounce at all or aspirate the C. Let me give you an example. There's an Italian word, fico. Fico means cool.
Yes, fico.
And in Florence they would say fijo.
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 Yes.
In Livorno and Pisa would say fio.
Similar but different.
Different.
Yes.
So even the way we treat the C determines if you're from a Tuscan city or not. But that's something very typical anyway, this mispronunciation of the C.
Like the famous C word that you guys use all the time in Tuscany, famous everywhere, is?
No, come on.
Coke. Give it to me, please.
Coha.
Very good. Thank you.
You forced me.
I know, I did. Okay, so apart from la C aspirata, as we say in Italian, where you aspirate the C, is there any other expressions or words, interesting words you guys say around Tuscany? Very unique.
Just a couple, but very typical. Yeah. For instance, the way we say the word child. In Pisa and Livorno, we say il bimbo.
Il bimbo. Yeah.
Or la bimba,
if
it's female.
Sì.
In Florence, when they call a child, oh Nini, come here, vieni qua, Nini. Nini. In Siena they say scittino o scitto.
O scitto.
So as you can say,
very different. It's very different.
It's very different. Typical expressions from Tuscany are ganzo.
Ganzo, yes,
wow,
very.
cool.
I hear it a lot. Yes.
Ganzo. In Livorno, ganzo a bestia.
Ganzo a bestia.
Super cool.
I love it.